Hello everybody and welcome, I am Bricker Boom, and first of all, as you may notice, this is not a Frosslass run. So, fun fact, the Universal Pokemon Randomizer that I use only goes up to Gen 4, and Frosslass is a Gen 5 Pokemon. Now, before my computer was borked, I used to use Pokemon FireRed Extended 3.5, but now the updated versions don't seem to be supported with the randomizer, so things are going great. However, I still wanted to do some kind of ice run, so I figured that we could do a Pokemon FireRed run with only a Glalie to finish up this month of ice types. Now, I want to preface this by saying, if you have an idea of how to get Gen 5 and on back into the game, I would love to hear it. If you aren't aware, Glalie is not my favorite Pokemon, and while it isn't my most hated, it's just kind of meh to me. It very much seems like the type of Pokemon that you would run into as a first encounter in your typical dungeon crawler RPG style video game. Anyway, Glalie is an odd Pokemon with all 80s in every single stat, so that's actually better than a lot of Pokemon that we've used in the past. It has enough of a moveset that we can take advantage of its attack, its special. Honestly, given the fact that everything is mediocre but not bad or great, it won't really matter which we go for. We'll probably, in all honesty, try to go off whatever our nature is and kind of plan from there. Also, if you like this kind of content, make sure to go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channels. Watch hours, but mostly clicking that like button really helps the algorithm, but you know the drill by now. For this particular run, we'll give the rival, you guessed it, Charmander, Fire Bad. We can't learn Rock Tomb with this Pokemon, so it'll definitely be harder than it was for Pillow-Swine, but even though we can't learn Rock Tomb, it still has access to a pretty decent amount of moves, so I think that the game can be beaten. However, I think that it'll probably be pretty difficult by the time we get to the final rival. To look at our nature, we have a Naughty nature, which increases attack but reduces special defense. Overall, I still think we'll be fine no matter what nature we had, though it would have been fun to see more even stats, but I really don't feel like resetting just to try to get neutral stat gains. For the first lab rival battle, given the fact that we have Bite, it's easy for us to win the battle. From there, we have to go through the beginning game stuff, and since we have decent stats, we try to go do the optional rival fight. With Pidgey, we start with Double Team and get hit with Sand Attack, but we take it down. From there, the Charmander and I trade attacks back and forth, and we do take it down. This took a good handful of attempts, given how badly Sand Attack can ruin our chances, but with us being able to take it out, we can go ahead and head to the Brock fight after we make our way back through the forest and get some more level ups that we probably need. While we're traveling, if you want to, of course, there is going to be a Discord link down below. One of my friends revealed they've never seen the Scream franchise, so that's something that we'll have to end up watching here soon. And then, lastly, just in case you didn't hear it in the intro, if you know anything to put Frosslass in this game, I would really appreciate it. Comment, or even just drop it in the Discord. You don't even have to stay after that. I just really want to be able to start putting some Gen 5 and forward Pokemon back into this game, because it's a lot of fun. But for now, we have Brock to fight. Brock starts with Geodude, and we open with Powder Snow, and we manage to take it out. Next out is Onix, and we use Powder Snow, taking it to yellow, and it only uses Tackle twice before going down. That went about as well as I thought it would, to be honest. Now, the good news is, as we go through the game, we won't have nearly as many weaknesses as Pillow-Swine, whatever, did. It also won't have that 4 times weakness to fighting that Sneasel did, so even though we'll technically be dealing with somewhat lower stats, I think we'll actually be in better shape as we go into the back half of the game. For now though, we go through the cave, we also grab the Dome Fossil, which in case, if you weren't aware, it's the only fossil that matters in this game. Now, I'll be honest, I don't fight too many of the additional trainers going through this area, given how easy the first gym was, and that we also have a gym that we shouldn't have too much trouble against because we have Bite with Misty, I think for the most part, even without those level ups, we'll be fine. Again, even though it's not the most effective move, it'll still be super effective, so what I do after I make sure that we can't punch or kick with our non-existent hands or feet, we head straight to Misty. With Misty, the Staryu outspeeds us and it uses Harden, so when we bite it, it takes it to not quite half. We do manage to take it to red after tanking a Water Pulse, and then Misty heals up. After that, we can take it down with a few more bites, but our HP is not looking good. And then Starmie is able to come out and immediately finish the job. Alright, maybe we're not quite ready for Misty, but are we ready for the rival? The rival first starts with Pidgeotto, and we open up with Icy Wind, one-shotting it. With Charmander, 2 headbutts is enough to take it down as Ember connects for solid damage. Abra can't do anything, and although Rattata does get us down to low yellow, we're able to take it out to win a fairly simple battle. Granted, it was a second try victory due to a burn, but we'll take it. Let's try Misty again with our extra level, because we did get a little bit of bulk with that. So, we crit the Staryu and actually outspeed it, so we one-shot it and get to Starmie with full health. Water Pulse is still doing massive damage as we take it to about half. Another Water Pulse takes us to 12 HP and confuses us, but with anime plot armor on our side, we push past the confusion and take it down for another clean victory. Given how difficult Misty was in last week's video, it's nice to have an easy time with the battle this week. By the way, if you haven't checked that video out, you absolutely should. It was a lot of fun to make, and Piloswine is probably one of my favorite Gen 2 Pokemon overall. With that, we have some travel ahead, and again, for the most part, we don't really fight any optional trainers. Although this isn't the Frosslass I wanted to be using, Glalie isn't a bad Pokemon by any means. Honestly, until we get to Koga, I don't think we'll have to worry too much. Koga just typically proves to be too bulky, and given the fact that all of our stats are the same, I can't imagine we'll have too much over 100 HP by the time we actually get to Koga. But that's still a ways away, and we have a cruise to ruin for multiple passengers. Truthfully, we do spare most of them, but there are a few that we want to make sure to fight, mostly to get the few items that we can actually use this time around. After gathering a few things, we head back to fight the rival. Pidgeotto's up to bat first, and we use Icy Wind, taking it down in one shot. Charmeleon came out, and we use Headbutt, taking it to yellow as Ember connects for decent damage, and then we take it down. Next up is Raticate, and we headbutted into one-shot submission. Last up is Kadabra, who could and probably will be trouble as time goes on, but for now, is another easy one-shot. We play the captain a smooth jazz song while rubbing his back, grab Cut from the man, and then head over to Surge's gym. While Glalie doesn't have Piloswine levels of resistance against him, I'll be surprised if this gym is any kind of trouble. Typically, it's only an issue when we have a water type in our party. Voltorb is up first, and we use Headbutt, taking it out in one shot. Next up is Pikachu, and, well, it's a Pikachu, so it goes down. Thankfully, we don't get punished from Static, and last up is Raichu, who goes to yellow, and Static does paralyze us, but we flinch it. The next turn, it uses Double Team, but we manage to push past the paralysis and the Double Team to knock it out and take the badge. Once again, we have a lot of travel, and we'll avoid the optional trainers best as we can. By the time we get to Celadon, we'll have Ice Beam, and 2 options ahead of us. We can either try to clear out Celadon, or if things go poorly, we can head back to the tower. By now, the rival is pretty easy until the next fight, but truthfully, I think that Giovanni will be a pushover. Given the fact that Erika can't deal super effective damage to us, I don't think she'll be too much of a problem either. However, as hard as it is to believe, I have been wrong before, so let's see how things go for us. Victory Bell is first, and we use Ice Beam, taking it down in one shot. Tangela is next, and will likely always be a one-shot. Last up is Vileplume, and we're able to take it down in one go as well. Alright, that's 4 badges down, and so far Glalie is doing better than I thought, but we'll get to that in a few minutes. We have a Crime Lord to take down, and then basically a fight inside a funeral home. Giovanni first starts off with Onyx, and we open up with Ice Beam, one-shotting it. Next up is Rhyhorn, who has the special defense of a newborn, so we take it out as well. Finally, it's Kangaskhan, and we headbutt it for a flinch, then take it to yellow as it uses Bite. After that, we swap over to Ice Beam, knocking it out, and allowing us to move back to Lavender Town, fight the rival, and finish up this portion of the map. Back to the tower. The rival uses Pidgeotto, and we open with Ice Beam, taking it out in one shot. Next up is Charmeleon, and we use Headbutt as it uses Ember for solid damage, then goes down. After that, you have Scrambled Eggs, who we use Ice Beam on, taking them down in one shot as well. Kadabra isn't quite a problem yet, and with us having now Crunch, it may not become an issue at all, so it goes down. Last up is Gyarados, and we Ice Beam it to red as Thrash does a little, and then we can take it down to win the battle. Once again, we have some travel and some Safari Zone Scramble in the background here. We do encounter a Chansey, by the way, but it escapes immediately. I think the only thing I haven't managed to catch full odds in these has been a Kangaskhan. A few videos back, I caught a Chansey, and everything else has been caught then as well. But anyway, Glalie is honestly a lot better than I give it credit for. When I did a Pokemon short saying that it was a C-tier Pokemon, I did partially go off design, but I figured with it having 80 in all stats, it would be a jack of all trades. Mediocre in all things, but never truly good at anything. By the way, if you do like that kind of idea, every single day, except Sunday, I do upload a Pokemon short, basically putting each Pokemon into a tier list. At the time of writing this today, or I should say at the time of recording this, Prinplup was the one that I actually just posted. It was a B tier? That sounds right. Now, I will be honest, I don't know if Glalie breezing through the game will last, or if this is going to come crashing down around me, but I do want to see what happens as we go ahead and continue through the game. For the gym leaders, I have to imagine Blaine is going to be the only one that actually gives us any issues, but given the fact that we haven't had to use any rare candies, our speed stat should actually be pretty decent because we're getting the full level up advantage. For now, though, we do have to fight Koga, but the good news is, even if that goes south, we can go ahead and head to Saffron. And with Koga, I'm going to be completely honest, and I'm just going to go ahead and play footage in the background because sometimes that's easier to do than writing out a losing script. But Muck is an absolute menace with runs like this because of Minimize. Homeboy is the thickamist, and there is no way to get past him. And I'm going to be honest, I don't want to use double team strats unless I absolutely have to. But 21 attempts in. Coughing goes down to a single Ice Beam, thankfully. Next up is Muck, and we use Ice Beam, taking it to right around half as it, you guessed it, uses Minimize. We swap to Crunch to keep it out of healing range as he uses Minimize again. But apparently the RNG gods just decided to stop making me suffer because Ice Beam still connects and takes it down. The next Coughing goes down to a single Ice Beam, though I don't think that critical hit was needed. Wheezing is the last one up, and it goes to right below half as Sludge hits for solid damage and we get poisoned because of course we do. But we do manage to take it down and actually win the badge. We didn't have to level up, we just had to try a lot. Now, as we head into Saffron and Silphco, the good news is there's plenty of additional trainers that we can fight if needed. There's also a decent amount of vitamins that are available inside the tower, also, if needed. So we go ahead, we grab the key, we grab access to the bed, and whatever that we may need, and then we go to see how things go against the rival. This is definitely one of the harder battles, since this is the first time we've seen the rival since the tower, and by now, most of his team has evolved. Pidgeotta's first, and we open with Ice Beam, taking it down in one shot. Next up is Charizard, and we swap over to Crunch to test damage, not even doing half and getting Flamethrowered into absolute oblivion. So with the Pidgeot, we basically start double teaming as much as we can, hoping not to deal with Sand Attack. After building up a few, we swap over Ice Beam and take it down. From there, the Charizard misses its first attack, we flinch it with the second attack, and then our third attack crits it to knock it down. Then the eggs come out, and we can Ice Beam it for a simple one-shot. Alakazam is next, and we swap over to Crunch, taking it down in one go. Gyarados is the final Pokemon, and we swap back to Ice Beam, taking it below half as Bite connects, and then another Ice Beam takes it down to let us move on. Despite that taking 8 attempts, that wasn't as bad as I thought that it was going to be. Let's go see Giovanni. Nidorino is first, and Ice Beam takes it down, and I'm fairly certain that that critical hit was overkill. Rhyhorn is and will probably always be a one-shot, just like Tangela. Nidoqueen comes out, and we use Ice Beam to take it to red. Now, Double Kick isn't doing too bad of damage, but I am glad that we take it out next turn. Last up is his Kangaskhan, and this So we use Crunch, and it uses Rage for really sad damage. We then take it to red with Ice Beam, and rather than do anything else like, attacking, it lowers our defense with Tail Whip, so that we just take it down. Well, Sabrina, she can go one of two ways. It'll either be a pretty easy sweep with Crunch, or she'll be able to outspeed and just absolutely wreck us. Let's take a gander. Sabrina first sends out Kadabra, and it is the frailest of the frail, and we outspeed it, taking it down with a single Crunch. Next up is Mr. Mime, and we use Crunch again, taking it to red as Sabrina sets up Calm Mind. Sabrina heals up, and we use Crunch again, taking it to a bit below half now. After that, we outspeed and take it out. Venomoth is next, and we swap over to Ice Beam, taking it to a sliver as Psybeam does just a little, and then Sabrina heals up. We take it back to red, and then take it down next turn. Alakazam is last, and we swap back to Crunch as it uses Calm Mind, and we take it right below half. Psychic wrecks us, taking us down to 31 HP, but we can take it out to win an arrow battle. Alright, that means the only difficult gym battle will be Blaine, because of course it will be. Now, for this particular battle, I think there's a good chance that we're going to need Double Team. While Fire Blast isn't the most accurate of moves, it's still going to connect often. So adding Double Team stacks on top of an already inaccurate move should increase our chances. If I had to guess, one Fire Blast from Rapidash or the Arcanine will be enough to end us. The good news is we can learn Water Pulse if we need it, and if it confuses them, that's only another coin flip that we get to add to our chance of victory. So let's go ahead and see how the first attempt goes. Maybe we'll be able to pull something off. Growlithe is first, so we open up with Crunch, taking it to yellow as it retaliates with Fire Blast, taking us to 45 HP before it goes down. The next Pokemon up is Ponyta, and we use Crunch, taking it to yellow, and then we get taken out. Let me add Water Pulse to our arsenal and try again, because I do think that we can actually do this at our current level. Growlithe is up first, and we actually take it down with a single Water Pulse, which I am not complaining about. We can then do the same with Ponyta. Then, when Rapidash comes out, we take it below half, confuse it, it smacks itself, Blaine heals, we take it back to yellow, Blaine heals the confusion, and then we take it down. With Arcanine, we take it to not quite half, confuse it, it smacks itself for decent damage, but we can take it out, and that's the badge. Honestly, I didn't think that A, Glalie would do this well in a solo run, and B, of all the gym leaders, I didn't think Blaine would be taken down without having to level up a pretty decent chunk. I'm proud of this little snowball. So, with Blaine out of the way, that means that we have to head back to Giovanni, and again, with this month of Ice-type Pokemon, I have a good feeling about this. Rhyhorn is the first Pokemon, and, well, I mean, if you've watched the last two Ice-type challenges, you know what we do. We swap over to Ice Beam and we just press A. Every Pokemon is easily outsped, one-shotted, and that's the 8th badge. Nothing exciting happening here, and we're moving on. We have one more rival fight before hitting the Elite Four, and chances are this one will be brutal. Pidgeot is his first Pokemon out, and we use Ice Beam, taking it down in one shot. Now, as much as I would love to have learned the move Blizzard, to make it 100% accurate, I'd also need to have Hail, and since it can end anywhere between 2 and 5 turns, we pass on that. Rhyhorn is out next, so we take it out as well. Then Charizard comes out, says nah, and one-shots us without a second thought. So, for the first time since this run has started, we do have to level up. Even if we do our double team strategy, we can't dodge enough moves to be able to take down the Charizard. Usually it takes 3 turns to take it down, and after some levels, we go ahead, try again, and see how it goes. With Pidgeot, we can take some time to build up double teams because we definitely need them. We can then take it out, and then the Rhyhorn that's next out, it goes down to a single Ice Beam. Next up is Charizard, and we use Water Pulse, and it misses Flamethrower. We then Water Pulse it again to a Sliver, then Charizard misses again, so it goes down. We swap back to Ice Beam for the Execute, and we take it down as well. Alakazam is next, so we swap over to Crunch, taking it down in one go. Then, finally, it's his Gyarados, and we swap it back to Ice Beam, taking it below half. Hydro Pump does some pretty solid damage, but we can take it out. Alright, so now that we're on the way to the Elite Four, we can talk a little bit about each of the members. Lorelei is probably going to be an issue, given the fact that we have no way to deal super effective damage, but she can do neutral damage to us. Bruno can probably one-shot us with literally every fighting move that he has access to. Agatha won't be too much of an issue, except her being able to outspeed us could be a problem. Lance? Well, Lance is probably going to be mostly one-shotted. And then the final rival? Honestly, I have no idea. Now, for the sake of your and my time, we're just going to go ahead and skip on over to the Lorelei fight after getting blocked for a good while. Just like I said in the recap previously, it's just kind of hard to take her out, especially once we get to Lapras. It can usually body slam us into the ground, so let's go ahead and see how this attempt goes after we grab a few vitamins and level up. At level 65, we take Dugong to half and knock it out. Now, with Cloyster, we know that it'll spend a good time wasting with Protect, Spikes, and Dive. So what we do is we use Crunch, then just use some double teams, since honestly it can't do too much, and then take it out. With Slowbro, we take it to yellow, as it only sets up Amnesia, and then it goes down. Herminus, Lapras, thankfully can't seem to land an attack, so we swap to Return, do a couple crunches to keep it out of healing range, and then knock it out. After that, Jinx is a one-shot to let us move on to someone who actually may be a problem, Bruno. Now, we make sure to go ahead and set up a little bit against Onyx. All it has that's super effective against us is Rock Tomb, and it doesn't have the best accuracy, and while it lowers speed, we're just able to keep on double teaming. Once we set up a few, we swap over to Water Pulse and take out both of his Onyx. Next up is Hitmonchan, and it misses Sky Uppercut, and we take it to yellow, and then the Quick Claw lets us move first, next turn, to take it out. Hitmonlee is next and misses Brick Break, and we take it to red as Bruno heals up. We use Water Pulse for weak damage, it misses Brick Break, and we take it down. Machamp is out and uses Return, taking it to red with a crit as it misses Scary Face. The berry heals it, but not quite out of healing range, as Bruno does heal up, and we take it to right around half, and then take it to a sliver again, before taking it out to win the battle. Now, does anybody else have trouble saying the word Quick Claw, or is it just me? Agatha time. Gengar we take to yellow with Ice Beam, Agatha heals up and we do some more damage, then knock it out. Arbok is a two-shot with Ice Beam, and Golbat is a one-shot. The next Gengar comes out, puts us to sleep, uses Sludge Bomb against us, but we actually get an early wake-up and we can take it out. Haunter is last up, gets one-shotted by Crunch, and that lets us win the battle. Alright, let's see how things go against Lance. But I'll give you a hint. I think that it's going to be a lot like the rest of this month. Gyarados is first, so we use Ice Beam, taking it to half as Dragon Rage connects and we knock it out. Aerodactyl's out, and it does outspeed us, doing solid damage with Ancient Power, but since it doesn't get the boost, we can actually take it out in one shot. I'm curious if it would have gotten the boost, if that'd still be the same, but after that, he has a Dragonite and two Dragonairs that are all a simple one-shot each, winning us the champion battle, and meaning we have one more battle to go. I guess he isn't the champion anymore, is he? Anyway. Against the champion, we are able to take down the Pidgeot with one shot. After that, Rhydon is out, and we spend the next 6 turns hoping we don't get punished for our hubris and building up double teams. At our very last double team, we do end up getting hit with Rock Tomb before going on the offensive and taking it down. For the Charizard, we Water Pulse, it misses, and then we actually get a crit to take it down. Alakazam is next, and it's kind enough to go down to 2 crunches after a miss. And then Exeggutor goes down to an Ice Beam. With Gyarados, we Ice Beam, do a Water Pulse to not put it in healing range, and it smacks itself. So, that lets us take it out to win the battle and the run. Alright everyone, well I hope that you enjoyed this run. As I was writing that, I had to be up at about 6.5 hours for work, so I was hoping after finishing that little bit, I was able to get to bed. I did not, by the way. I'm sorry I couldn't get a Frosslass run out for you, but I still hope that you enjoyed seeing Glalie. I actually really enjoyed using it. again, if you have any ideas, make sure to go ahead and send them to me. But either way, I hope that you all had a good Christmas, and if you want to join the Discord as we do movie nights, please do so. Thank you all for being here, and honestly, I hope that the new year treats you with nothing but kindness. I personally have a lot to reflect on this year, and only want to become a better creator and better person. For now, though, some things are amazing and don't require changing, and that's our intro and our outro. So, as always, if you like the video, even if you didn't like the video, hit the like and subscribe button because it really does help me out. And until next time, everybody, peace out.